1445. Yes,
So,
yes po, ma'am.
so you have contempt power?
The commission proper po has contempt powers
Eh, yun pala eh.
under section 40 of
Attorney.
PD 1445.
Attorney, kanina mo yung the only remedy that you have is
Yes, sir.
tapos may contempt power para yung ano, commission proper.
Yes, sir, but we believe that the same, unless it is direct contempt, the same still has to be filed with the regular courts.
Kung direct contempt.
Yes, sir.
Pwede.
Kung direct contempt done in the presence of the commission proper members, it can be, they can be cited in contempt
Ano yan,
directly.
specific ba yan dun sa...
It is
interpretation mo lang?
based on jurisprudence po, sir. That is the procedure that we
Anong
follow.
jurisprudence, attorney? Sige nga.
I cannot...
Kaya nga, attorney, I just like to warn you. Huwag kayo mag-cite ng mga jurisprudence, hindi nyo basta makabisa ako, hindi ako lawyer, but if I cite a jurisprudence, I'm very much sure na talagang may jurisprudence. And I can cite that such jurisprudence. And dami na ako pinakontempt dito, kaya nga inaaral ko yung jurisprudence ng lahat ng mga contempt orders, which is not favorable to especially sa Senate. Yeah, you cite a jurisprudence. Now, you cannot cite it. Hindi ako maniwala sa iyo ngayon. Di ba, attorney? So now, ganito lang po. Yung fraud audit team nyo nag-confirm na nag-issue ng subpoena.
Correct, Mr. Chair.
Problema lang, ang problema, the subpoena to the state commons was not complied.
Yes, sir.
Wala kayong legal action.
There was no action by the audit team, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yep. Please, Vice Chair.
To our resource persons from COA, I want to read section 41 of PD number 1445. I understand this is the charter of the Commission on Audit. And after I read the same, I hope you will enlighten us on how we should appreciate the contempt power of COA. It says, the Commission shall have the power to punish contempts provided for in the rules of court under the same procedure and with the same penalties provided therein. Any violation of any final and executory decision, order, or ruling of the Commission shall constitute contempt of the Commission. This is section 41 of PD 1445. I lament, Mr. Chair, that my appreciation about compulsory power, it always go hand in hand with the contempt power. Otherwise, the compulsory process will be rendered futile. It has no teeth unless it is accompanied with the necessary contempt power. If we allow this situation as presented to us by COA, that the Commission has compulsory process but no contempt power, wala pong susunod. Sa issuance ng subpoena duces tecum, wala pong susunod sa issuance ng subpoena ad testificandum. The only thing which will provide strength and power to these compulsory processes is if the Commission is also empowered to cite the violators of these compulsory processes in contempt. And having found this section 1445, I wish to understand, I'm inclined to believe na meron. May contempt power ang COA. And it is being equated to the contempt power as cited in the rules of court. Ibig sabihin po, same grounds, same procedures, same penalties. So at this point, Mr. Chair, having shared the Section 41 of Presidential Decree number 1445, which is the very charter of the Commission on Audit, may we request our resource speakers from COA. Please enlighten us as to the compulsory process of COA vis-a-vis the contempt power as mentioned in Section 41 of PD 1445. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Attorney.
Sir Chair, thank you for that observation po regarding sa compulsory processes and contempt powers ng COA with regard to the conduct of fraud audits, sir. Sa experience namin po kasi, sir, sa fraud audit, we are relying on the cooperation really of the agencies we audit.
Excuse
So
you're not answering the question of Vice Chair Luis. Your comment about Section 41, yung compulsory powers.
yes, sir, in our experience, sir, hindi po kami ng content na extra naming contempt power, sir.
Ano? Sorry?
Sir, the contempt power under Section 41 is not being exercised, sir.
Oh, yun yung problema nyo. But
Yes, Mr. Chair, we confirm that it does. We have, but in our experience, even the commission proper has not cited anyone in contempt. And
Can I stop you there? Do you know why we're still in this hearing na for the ilang beses na to? 12 time? Because this is an offense that was made in the 2022 elections. Magto 25 elections na lang, until now, hindi pa natin na-resolve itong issues na to. Diba? And that, I hope you understand why everyone is concerned. All of us are, in one way or another, re-electionists. That's why we're concerned with election spending, no? But just the same, sir, no? It has to come to an end, no? Hindi pwedeng forever tayong mag-iimbestiga nito. Diba? And there has to be a point where there is a logical conclusion as to the complaint of Congressman Lara, no? And that's why kaya nga nadidiscuss na natin ngayon yung anong mga deficiencies on siguro the processes that COA observes. Otherwise, this could have been done faster. Would you not agree, Sir COA?
I agree, sir.
Yeah, kaya nga. So, would you siguro recommend that ano pa bang powers kailangan ng COA para mas mapabilis tong mga investigation na ito?
Sir, the non-submission of the documents required by the audit team may result to being cited in contempt.
Yes, but you said earlier
but
that the commission has not cited anyone in contempt.
Yes, sir, because the the audit team still has a remedy on that. They may not cite the non-submission of documents, but the same can be a finding in the audit. And
True,
therefore,
true. It may be included in one of the findings. But then, sir, we would be still facing the dilemma of local government units employing this strategy, delay until the next elections.
Yes, sir.
Oh, see? And that's what we're trying to avoid. Di ba? Sabi ko nga kanina, I premised my arguments on the fact that this is an issue which arose out of the 2022 elections. And next year, magto 2025 elections na rin, hindi pa rin resolved. Di ba? So kaya nga, ang point ko now is like, why can't COA use the powers that are nandyan pala sa kanila, as mentioned by our esteemed colleague, no? Jinky Luistro, no? Na meron naman pala. Di ba? Para mapabilis po sana itong mga investigations na ito.
Okay. as I've said, sir, if the audit team will not exercise such power, that non-submission of document can be a findings in the report, and therefore they will issue a disallowance on the transactions, it not being explained properly. And also to comment on the fact that the commission is not exercising its power of contempt. There is a pending revision po of PD 1445, which is now pending before the Senate. And we have contemplated on that processes, sir. We have already addressed.
Attorney, huwag ka nga magpalusot dito. Kasi alam mo, dito nang galing yun. Sa House. Alam namin. Kaya huwag kang palusot. This investigation started last year pa. Before that bill was filed.
Yes, sir.
Ito, tapusin mo na. Please, do not talk unless recognized by the chair. Second attorney, in your knowledge, may karanasan na ba kayo na pinakontempt ng COA?
None that I know.
Oh,
sir.
that's why you cannot use it as an excuse. Kasi itong hearing na to, it started even before that bill was filed and passed in the lower house. At wala rin kayong karanasan na pinakontempt kayo. So that is not an excuse. Kanina nga, sabi mo pa, the only remedy that you have is to file a contempt case in court. Ngayon, binasa ni Congresswoman Fiscal Attorney Luistro. Oh, ngayon umamin ka na there is such Section 41 na pwede niyong gamitin.
Mr. Chair, for the guidance of everyone, let me correct the number of the section. It is Section 40, Paragraph 2 of Presidential Decree number 1445. Section 40, Paragraph 2. I stand corrected, Mr. Chair.
So not Section 41,
Yes,
Section
Mr. Chair.
40. Oh, attorney, yun na yun. Huwag na tayo magpalusot dito. You're waiting for the approval of to pass into law the amendments or revision of... Ako.
Mr. Chair, I wish to add.
Alam mo, attorney, yung bill na yon, why it was moved dito sa House dahil sa investigation ng committee ito. Hinabol namin yan, just like all other bills now pending in this House with regards to all other investigation being done by this committee and the Quadcom. Kong Lara, do you have...
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ulit ko lang, konti na lang. Actually, gusto ko lang na ipaalam sa committee ito nung last na huling mga pagdinig natin. Tuwing tinatanong natin yung mga members ng fraud audit, hindi din sila makasagot kasi kailangan yung mga boss nila, Mr. Chair. Ngayon naman dito yung mga boss ang sasabihin na kailangan sagutin ng mga fraud audit na team. So ito, kay attorney kanina na sabi mo, yung non-submission o non-compliance ang magiging rason para ma-disallow yung transaction?
Yes,
Attorney,
sir.
sorry, before you proceed, let me acknowledge the presence of the Chairman, Committee on Transportation, Senior Member of this committee, Congressman Romeo Acop, representing the 2nd District of Antipolo. Thank you for coming, boss. Attorney, please proceed. Attorney. Please proceed po. Please proceed.
Mr. Chair, that's correct. No, the non-submission may result into the finding as part of the finding in the fraud audit report, and it could be also be the one of the ground for the issuance of notice of disallowance because of lack of documentation.
Okay.
Following the discussion of the
So,
the
ang
night.
sunod na tanong ko sa iyo, Ano ang i-disallow mo? Magkano kung wala ka naman dokumento? Kasi sabi nyo, hindi ka nakakuha ng dokumento. Kaya mo i-disallow. Ano i-disallow mo kung wala kang dokumento? Anong basis, anong amount? Kasi katulad nito, ang hinahanap natin, ni-request nyo mismo as per etong report ninyo, SAT requested contracts and supporting documents from 2014 up to the present. Only contracts spanning 2021 to 2023 were submitted, but with very incomplete documents. Kasi kayo nag-limit, okay? Kayo nag-limit na yung program lang ng Kay Ganda Cagayan ang tinitingnan nyo kasi yun yung merong dokumento. But then again, paalala ko sa iyo na ang request ng committee ito is all programs ni Mr. Mamba nag-umpisa nung naupo siya bilang gobernador na ginagamit ang airwaves ng Bombo Radio, no, without the necessary processes na sinusunod niya. Okay, ngayon you exerted the extra mile. Naghingi ang special audit team noong 2014 up to the present. Hindi ko alam kung saan nanggagaling naman to. At 2014 ang hiningi no, ng SAT ninyo. But then again, eto, balikan ko yung sinabi mo. Non-submission or non-compliance will be the reason to issue disallowance. So, magkano i-disallow mo? On the first place, pagka nag-disallow ka. Diba, once na nag-disallow ka, may basis ka. At ang basis mo dyan is whatever documents pa rin. Magkano, anong nilabag mo, eto na. For non-compliance, magbibigay ka na ng notice of disallowance. So, magkano?
Mr. Chair, may we allow to respond?
Go ahead.
Yes. Without having personal knowledge on the Cagayan audit, usually the basis of the notice of disallowance is the disbursement voucher. So one of the ground that in the issuance of the notice of disallowance as provided in PD 1445 is incomplete documentation, meaning that when we see a disbursement voucher, it should supposed to be supported by complete documentation. That is why, because of that DB, we request documents to support the basis of the DB. In instances wherein a request has been made for a specific disbursement and these documents were not submitted, this will be the ground for a notice of disallowance on the ground of incomplete documentation, Your Order.
Mr. Chair, balikan ko ulit. No?
Go ahead, Congressman Lara.
Ay, magkano? Yun kasi ikaw, kanina mo pa sinasabi. Kaya nga on this note, Mr. Chair, mahirap kasi na tanungin din siya. Kasi ang sa akin lang, attorney, etong prepare nyo na fraud audit report. Kilaro nyo dito magkano ang disallowance sa transaction ni Mr. Mamba noong 2022. Okay? Very clear. Dito din sa report na ito, nilagay nyo na only contracts spanning 2021 to 2023 were submitted but with very incomplete documents. Pero the SAT requested contract supporting documents from 2014 up to the present. Ang sa akin lang, no, nililimit ko lang yung katanungan ko. During the duration of Mr. Mamba bilang gobernador, nag-start siya 2016 na kino-confirm ng Bombo Radio na meron na silang transaction since 2016. Okay? So yun yung tanong ko. Ngayon, sabi mo, kung incomplete documents, that will be a ground. Pangalawa, dahil incomplete, merong na-submit. Tama? May na-submit, incomplete. Tama ba ako doon? Ngayon, doon sa disbursement voucher, pwedeng magamit. Di ba? Kapag incomplete ang document, whatever document available will be the basis to come up with whatever amount na i-disallow mo. Lalo-lalo na, ito, naitanong ko na ito sa COA nung panahon ng budget hearing. How many years ba dapat na hawak, no, ng provincial government or whatever agency ang dokumento? Ilang years ba dapat? Baka hindi mo pa alam, baka mas alam ko pa sa'yo.
Under the National Archives law, sir, it's 10 years.
10 years, yes. Kasi naitanong ko ito, Mr. Chair, nung budget hearing, kasi nung nagbabudget hearing tayo at nagre-request kayo kung saan natin i-archive o saan ang depository ng mga dokumento, ang sabi nyo noon, dun sa hearing na yon, ay dahil sa kakulangan nyo ng mga infrastructure o ng mga paglalagyan at kulang kayo sa budget, hindi kayo nakakapagtayo ng sarili nyong archive room. So most often than not, nilalagay nyo, sabi nyo, sa mga agency or sa mga local government units na meron silang area doon na pwedeng paglagyan. Kaya ang tanong ko pa nga noon tama ba yung ginagawa ninyo? What if magkaproblema? Yung dokumento na subject ng kaso ipapahandle mo sa agency na concerned. So yun, kaya ko na itatanong ito, balikan ko lang to. Nangyari ito 2016. So less than 10 years pa lang ito. Tama o mali ako doon, attorney? Tama, di ba? Kasi I filed this 2022. So in-expect ko, yung 2016, nandyan pa. So ngayon, rason nila wala ng dokumento. Katanggap-tanggap ba to?
No, sir. As I've said, under the NAP law, they are obliged to keep the documents within a period of 10 years.
Ngayon, 2016, hindi nyo na naisama dito sa fraud audit report. Gusto nyo bang ipaalam dito sa Congress, dito sa hearing na ito, dito sa committee ito, at lalong-lalo na sa akin, bilang kongresista na naghaing nito for fraud audit? Magpapabalik pa ba ulit kayo ng fraud audit team na ulitin ito na hanggang 2016 gagawin ulit? Babalikan nyo pa ba ito?
Sir Chair, if I may. Regarding that, sir, we may have to discuss it with the higher authorities, sir.
So, Mr. Chair, emotion ko pa ba ulit ito na to conduct another fraud audit? Kasi ang liwanag, ngayon sinasabi mo, attorney, kailangan i-discuss nyo. Hindi pa ba maliwanag nung panahon na nag-usap dito na nagsabi ako na ang transaction, fraud audit investigation must be from the duration na naupo si Mr. Mamba up to yung present na noon? Di ba maliwanag sa inyo yon?
Sir Chair, yeah, we may have to apologize for that, sir, but ang na-capture lang po talaga sa office order ay yung program na Kay Gandang Umaga, with spanning from year 2021, sir. But Sir Chair, as I mentioned, it is still possible to conduct fraud audit, but we have to discuss it with our authorities, sir, because sila po yung nag-i-issue ng office order, Sir Chair.
Chief ng legal, sir. Actually, Mr. Chair, dito sa report lang, nagkataon na nauna na nailagay dito sa number 2 yung scope of engagement. Okay? Nauna, number 2. Audit constraints, scope of limitation. Kung nagkataon na una, yung letter D. Kasi ang liwanag ng letter D, Mr. Chair, the Special Audit Team requested contracts and supporting documents from 2014 up to the present. Bakit mo ilalagay ito kung nililimit mo lang sa Kay Ganda, Cagayan lang ang scope ng investigation, attorney? Di ba dapat wag nyo nang ilagay ito kung hindi maliwanag doon sa fraud audit team na ang pinapa-audit natin is from the day na naupo si Mr. Mamba. Aliwanag, siguro simple lang naman na Na ano yun eh, bakit mo ilalagay ito kung ang scope mo is kay Ganda Cagayan program lang? Di ba dapat ako na nag-manifest dun? We will limit the investigation to the kay Ganda program ni Mr. Mamba. Dapat sa akin galing yun, Mr. Chair, hindi galing sa inyo. Kasi ang galing sa akin is very clear, no? Yung mga disbursement ni Mamba during the prohibited period. And of course, yung prohibited period na yun, lahat ng programs niya na nag-i-span kasi sinasabi nila continuing program ito. So ibig sabihin, from the start ng administration ni Mr. Mamba, may mga programs na siya na tinuloy-tuloy lang niya. No, kasi yan yung ano niya yan yung palusot niya. Okay? Yan ang palusot niya. Bakit na hindi niya kailangan ang exemption during the time na may election, continuing program. At ang unang sinabi niya na palusot niya, hindi niya kailangan daw ang exemption kasi hindi daw kasama ang local government. Para lang mabigyan kita ng anong mga pangyayari dito. Kasi it's very unfortunate lang, Mr. Chair, na mga nag-a-attend dito sa hearing natin katulad ngayon. With due respect sa inyo, attorney, na ang sasagot mo sa akin o sa amin dito, hindi mo alam itong mga pinag-usapan noon. Kasi mahirap naman, last hearing na ito, tapos yan ang isasagot mo sa amin. So anong magiging reprieve ko bilang akong nag-file ng House Resolution to investigate? Gusto mo bang itutuloy pa namin ito ulit? Katulad nung binanggit. Binanggit ko kanina, ibig bang sabihin, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng fraud audit? At magpa-file ulit ako ng House Resolution to that effect, mag-e-election na eh. Okay, actually, we've started our election process for 2025. Nag-file na ng kandidato, kung sino mga kandidato. Okay? So ito yung mga bagay na hindi lang nakakasakit na loob, kundi it's not expected, no? From COA bilang the guardian of public funds at yung mga sinasite ni Congresswoman Luis Stroke. No, imagine mo, kailangan pa nila kayong i-remind dun sa extent ng mga powers ng COA bilang director ng legal. Kung ako siguro yan, mahiya na ako eh. No, na hindi mo alam ang extent ng kapasidad ng COA. So, sana pagka pumunta ka dito, it's incumbent upon you also na prepared kayo at kapag hindi naman kayo prepared, no? Yung mga marunong sa mga pangyayari dito, ang pa-attendin nyo. Lalo na katulad nito, hindi nag-attend kahit sinong member man lang, no, ng SAT, ng Special Audit Team. Siguro naman di lawat sila kailangan sa Senado. Kahit isa o dalawa man lang mag-attend dito. Kasi ulitin ko lang, attorney o director o chief, no? Previous hearing sinasabi nila, on record, nandito ang COMSEC. Pinapakita niya kanina sa akin. Ang rason ng SAT members noon, hindi sila makapag-comment kasi nasa inyo ang resulta ng report nila. Okay? Ngayon nandito kayo, ang sinasabi natin ngayon, kailangan nandito ang mga members ng SAT. So ano na talaga ang kailangan natin gawin dito? Para lang magkaroon ng kaliwanagan, no? Para sa amin dito at syempre sa mamamayan ng Cagayan. Magkano ba talaga ang nagastos ni Mr. Mamba dito lang sa programa ng Bombo? Okay? Hindi namin sinabi magkano ba ang ginastos ni Mamba sa programa ng Kay Ganda Cagayan. Hindi po. Ang tinatanong namin, magkano ang ginasto niya kabuuan sa lahat ng programa, no? Kasi dapat nga hindi lang Bombo yan eh. Kasi lumabas na dito sa report ninyo na may mga ibang mga programa pa si Mr. Mamba sa iba-ibang mga radio station. So kaya ko lang ulitin sa inyo, sana sa pagdinig na ito, kung ito man ang huli, categorically, magkano ba talaga ang nagastos ni Mamba? Sino ang mananagot na kasama ni Mr. Mamba? Saan hahantong ito? No? Kasi ang sinasabi nyo, it's not for you to decide kung may probable cause ito. Sinasabi nyo sa report nyo, it's for the ombudsman. Pero kung hindi naman maliwanag itong report ninyo, ibabalik din ng ombudsman nito, COA. Tama o mali? Kasi baka ma-dismiss lang ito dahil katulad nito, kung ano lang sinubmit, yun na. Di ba, it's incumbent upon you na kayo nadirektahan, nag-conduct kayo, very unusual. Hindi most of the time magkakaroon ng fraud audit. From time to time, may mag-request. From time to time, merong ganitong matindi na pangangailangan ng fraud audit, kaya kayo nag-o-audit. Pero kung ang magiging resulta naman, haphazard na report. At eto, hindi mo man nababanggit, kaya itatanong ko ngayon sana dun sa mga nag-i-issue nito na mga duces testificandum o duces tecum, kung may kasama bang pananakot ang hindi nila pagtanggap o pag-submit ng mga dokumento. Kasi kami, na taga-Cagayan, alam namin style ni Mr. Mamba. No? Hindi mo na itatanong, mabait siya pag nandito. Pero pagdating doon, hindi mo alam, nagiging incredible hulk doon sa probinsya. Kaya kung gusto malaman, ano ang rason, bakit na hindi siya nagsasubmit yung mga concerned na mga tao? Kasi nandito na mga department heads. Nandito. Kung sino man sa kanila ang binigyan ng duces tecum o ad testificandum, kailangan malaman din namin nasaan ang mga lista ninyo. Okay? Kasi binanggit nyo kanina, tama o mali ang pagkaintindi ko? Nagbigay kayo ng notice o ng request o ng letter. So ang tanong ko, sino binigyan nyo at sino ang hindi nag-submit? Mr. Chair, yun yung gusto kong malaman sa kanila. But then again, of course, na-expect ko, baka hindi na naman nila alam ito.
COA.
Sir, yes, Sir Chair, nakapag-issue po actually ng subpoena as mentioned by Attorney Daryl, Director Daryl, to PGC PIO and PGC BAC, sir. And yes po, noted po namin yung observations po, Sir Chair. But regarding din po sa transactions na yes, sir.
O ngayon, nabanggit mo si PIO. Nag-issue ka. Nandito ang si PIO. Pasasagutin natin siya, ba't hindi kanya sinagot? Sumagot ba siya? Hindi.
Per record, sir, not submitted, sir.
Kaya nga,
Nag-submit.
Mr. Chair, katulad nito, binanggit niya, isa sa mga hindi nagsumite is CPIO. I think the CPIO nandito siya, si Rogie Sending. Baka gusto niya mag-comment. Yung CPIO, Mr. Chair, binigyan daw ng subpoena diches tecum. Pero hindi daw nag-submit. Sabi ni walang sagot bakit hindi siya nagsumite. Nag-end na doon nung ayaw niya mag-submit. Okay na? Okay na sa inyo yon? COA? Kasi para marinig ng buong Pilipinas itong sinasabi mo, i-announce natin sa lahat ng naimbestiga ng fraud. Huwag nyo nang sagutin kasi okay lang sa COA yan. Yun ba yung gusto mong ipaalam dito sa committee?
Sorry, sir, but we have no personal knowledge po kung paano na hinandle ng team yung non-compliance sa subpoena. But apparently, sir, yun nga po. And the reason why, sir, Sir Chair,
Alam mo, COA, you're setting a bad precedent dito sa mga ano nyo, sa mga sinasagot nyo na ngayon dito. It seems na tinotolerate nyo na imbes na kayo ang safeguard namin ng public funds. No? Hindi malayo na mag-conclude ang taong bayan. Ako mismo, di ba, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi na in cahoots ang COA. Kasi sinabi ni Mamba, no, sa isang program niya na lahat kaya niyang bayaran, binabayaran niya lahat. Isa na ito sa mga pangyayari, Mr. Chair.
Anyway, COA, hindi nyo naman masagot yung mga tanong, ganito na lang po. Ito open hearing, that's on record, that you tell this committee na nagpadala po kayo ng subpoena, yung fraud audit team nyo. Tama? O please submit to this committee that document and the reply of the provincial government.
Mr. Chair, may I comment?
Hindi.
Yes, sir, we will do that. We'd just like to comment
Oh,
on.
you submit that within the week. Monday ngayon ha.
Yes, sir. We will tell the special audit team. The director of the office is here.
Para magkalaman-laman na kung anong sagot.
Yes. May I just comment on the non-submission of the
please proceed.
documents? Not necessarily with the audit on Cagayan. In my experience as conduct of fraud audit, when a document has been requested and it is not submitted, and the same had been the basis of a subpoena and it's still not submitted, it forms part of the fraud audit report that these documents has not been submitted, and this form part of the basis of the notice of disallowance on the basis of the requirements of the PD 1445 that all disbursement vouchers should be supported with complete documentation. So one thing, if the agency did not submit these documents, it is a valid ground for the special audit team as a basis of the issuance of notice of disallowance, Your Honor. Thank you po.
Mr. Chair, balikan ko lang yung sinabi mo na naman. Ano ngayon ang basis ng disallowance nyo? Magkano? Yung amount. Parang sinabi mo, may nawawalang gamit. Okay? Pinatatanong mo doon sa enkargado. Nasaan yung gamit? Sabi niya sa'yo, wala. Binigyan mo siya ng subpoena para ipresenta. Wala nga. So, ang conclusion mo, magbabayad ka. Tanong ngayon, anong basis mo doon sa babayaran niya?
In my understanding, Your Honor, the basis of the disallowance, the amount would be the amount stated in the disbursement voucher.
Wala kang ng dokumento kasi sabi mo lang, ang dokumento nyo lang was 2021. Ang pinag-uusapan natin, from the time na naupo si Mr. Mamba, 2016 to 2021, ang nandito sa report, kung hindi mo pa nabasa, Attorney, 2022 lang po ito. Itong sinumitin yung report. Maliwanag po ito. Mag-review ka kasi bago ka pumunta dito sana.
Attorney, yung nakastipulated dito, I have with me this summary, particular dun sa Bombo Radio, na fraud audit report nyo.
We understand, Mr. Chair.
Dali po, patapusin mo muna ako ha.
Yes po.
And of course, because of the documents that was submitted was only during the period of 2021 onward, it follows na yung amount na nakasipulate dito is only 2021 onward. Tama? Ang sinasabi ni Kong Lara is that actual amount before 2021, yun ang wala. Kasi wala naman talaga kayong audit report with regards to that. Because the provincial government never complied. Tama? And perhaps in regards to Bombo Radio, baka yung basis nyo nga for this particular amount galing pa po sa Bombo Radio. yung available documents from Bombo Radio. But 2021, up from 2016 to 2021, yun yung wala. Kasing Bombo Radio, wala ring records. Yun yung sinasabi ni Kong Jojo Lara. But I do believe na yung province ng Cagayan, may record yan. Kaya lang, ayaw lang nila ibibigay. So yun yung question, saka punto na gustong sabihin ni Kong Lara, you cannot provide us the whole amount na supposedly i-refund o babayaran. Tama?
Sir Chair, that is correct.
Oh, para malinaw. Now, Kong Lara, anyway, the question of our committee report can already stand, no? Especially doon sa mga observation, but still, ang total amount that was used and spent with regards to these contracts, yun yung wala from 2016 to 2020 onward with regards to Bombo Radio.